Hey everyone, I'm Anne-Marie and welcome to the Hello Basque YouTube channel. Every week I'm talking about different things having to do with the Basque Country. Today's video is all about the Basque province of Nafarroa, or in Spanish, Navarra. I've been doing a series of videos on the different provinces of the Basque Country, and this is the last video in the series, and I've been saving the best for last, honestly, because I'm always a little nervous talking about Nafarroa on the internet, just because I feel like every time I do, you have like one contingency of people that comes out of the woodworks to be like, Navarra is not Basque, it is Spanish. And I'm not here to engage in that debate today, honestly. Hello Basque is all about sharing a Basque perspective on the world, so today I'm talking about Nafarroa, the Basque province. Historically in the Basque Country there have been 7 provinces, and Nafarroa is like the ultimate of them. So politically nowadays, from what I've read, it's kind of like the northern part of the province is a little more Basque identified, and the southern part of the province people are a little more like Spanish identified. So politically nowadays that leads to some interesting politics happening in Nafarroa that I'm here in California, so I'm not too much involved in that. But what I do know is that Nafarroa, or Navarra, is its own autonomous community within Spain. There is a Basque Autonomous Community next door, but when they were making the Spanish Constitution in the 70s and they were kind of breaking up the different communities of Spain, the government, the people of Nafarroa, decided to be their own autonomous community rather than joining the Basque one next door. And I just learned on my last trip to the Basque Country that the Basque Autonomous Community, Euskadi, if you look at their coat of arms, kind of like their symbol, there's 4 different quadrants to it, even though it's only made up of 3 Basque provinces. So 3 of the quadrants within the coat of arms shows the different symbols of the 3 Basque provinces within Euskadi, but then there's one on the bottom that's blank. And if the shield is in color, which oftentimes it's not, just black and white, but if it's in color, that empty quadrant will oftentimes be red, which is a throwback to Nafarroa. So the coat of arms of Nafarroa is red with gold chains all through it. And so apparently when they were designing the coat of arms of Euskadi, they chose to have this empty red quadrant just in case one day Nafarroa decides to join them and they could put the chains in the quadrant to make a complete set of 4 Basque provinces in Hegoalde, the Southern Basque Country. From what I've been told, that there's actually like a loophole or a possibility in the Spanish Constitution for Nafarroa to join the Basque Autonomous Community one day, but I've also been told that is not on the table and that's probably never gonna happen based on what's going on in politics in Nafarroa today. So it's very interesting the more that I've learned about Nafarroa in terms of like today's politics. Because really all I knew before doing any sort of research or talking to people in the Basque Country was just that Nafarroa is Hello Basque. My dad is from just north of the border with Nafarroa, so he's from Lower Navarre, Navarre, which is historically used to be part of the Kingdom of Navarre, which I'm gonna get into, don't you worry about it. But pretty much we would go on family vacations and we would cross the border, and like it's like there was no border. Like everything was exactly the same. Like the houses were very similar. People spoke Basque. It's all very similar right there on the border. And so I know a lot of people from northern Nafarroa because many of the Basques who ended up here in the San Francisco Bay Area of California, where I'm from, a lot of them were from right there, either Lower Navarre or Navarra itself. So I've always known it to be super Basque, and it was like a shock to me when I found out that not all parts of Nafarroa felt very Basque, because I've never actually still have not been south of Pamplona. So of course Nafarroa, Navarra is known worldwide because of Pamplona, the festival of San Fermin every July, also known as the running of the bulls in English-speaking circles. So that is in Pamplona, and many years ago, I wrote a blog post about it being a Basque festival, and that's when I learned a lot of people don't agree with that, and they see it as a Spanish festival. So whatever, either way, it happens in Pamplona, which is like the capital city of Nafarroa, and every year there's like a whole big kerfuffle about whether the Basque flag should be displayed or not, and whatever. But for the Basques, like that is a Basque place, and that is a Basque festival. So Ernest Hemingway, of course, famously loved Pamplona, and he kind of brought it to the English-speaking world. So a few years ago, I was hanging out in Donostia, San Sebastian, in Gipuzkoa, next door, around the festival of San Fermin, and I was staying in a hostel, and it was nothing but Australians, like young Australian guys, like either on their way to Pamplona or on their way back from Pamplona, and nobody knew anything about the Basque Country. They were just there to not get killed by bulls, or maybe to live a hero's death, I don't know, but very popular with tourists, Pamplona. But also there's a really cool park that I've wanted to go to forever because I see it online. It looks so cool. Bardenas Reales Park, just in the southern part of Navarra. And pretty much it's like a desert, so like the rocks and the whole thing looks totally different from the northern part of Nafarroa, which I've always known to be like very mountainous and green and like lush, a lot of rain. So Nafarroa has a lot going on. It is a really big province. But let's talk history, okay? The Kingdom of Navarre. Now, anytime I talk about Nafarroa, like there's people in the comments who are like die hard about the Kingdom of Navarre. And this was a medieval kingdom, and for some Basques, this is the be all and end all. Like Nafarroa will always be like the most Basque of all the Basque province because it's the one that had an actual like Basque kingdom. So for centuries in the Middle Ages, Navarre was its own kingdom. And it was spread over throughout the ages. It wasn't just in what is now known as Nafarroa. It was spread over the border into France. It was spread further west in Spain, and so it was quite substantial. But that kingdom no longer exists today because I believe I read in the 16th century, the 1500s, the Kingdom of Castile started coming in and taking parts of Navarre for itself, and eventually were very successful in doing that. So Navarre eventually did come under the crown of Spain. There was a section of it that held out for a little bit longer north of the Pyrenees Mountains in today's France, but that eventually passed under the crown of France because the most famous king of Navarre is French King Henry IV, Henri IV. He was the king of Navarre, but through inheritance, he inherited the throne of France. So it's kind of a big promotion. So he kind of left the region for his sister to manage. And eventually it was just French after that. If you're going to inherit the throne of France, like, I guess you can leave your small kingdom behind and just let it get sucked into the machine. And that's why you have two different Basque provinces within the Basque Country. One, the main Nafarroa, Navarre, Navarra, and then north of the border you have Lower Navarre, kind of a smaller province that is a section of what was the old Kingdom of Navarre. So for a lot of like Basque history buffs, like Navarre, that was it. That was like the height of like Basque independence, shall we say, or Basque self-governance. And so shout out to the Kingdom of Navarre. It's been long gone and now under new management. But Nafarroa, very interesting province, really big to explore, a lot of interesting history. In terms of tourism, in these videos I like to include a little like traveler's tip. I'm not super sure how easy it is to get around Nafarroa because the only places I've ever been to were like either taking a bus into Pamplona or driving myself over the border, over the Pyrenees Mountains from where my family is. So I've never really tested the public transportation extensively. Oh, I can say, I guess I have walked through a big section of Nafarroa. Wow, I almost forgot. Yeah, the medieval pilgrimage route, the Camino de Santiago, it actually passes through Nafarroa quite a bit. It goes over the Pyrenees Mountains. So the first 3 days on the French way, the Camino Frances, it starts in Donibane-Garasi in Lower Navarre, Basque Navarre, and crosses over into the Pyrenees Mountains and then takes you to Pamplona and eventually kind of out through La Rioja. But yeah, so I have walked Nafarroa. The trails are well marked, shall we say. But I would recommend a faster mode of transportation because that was not easy. But kind of cool that the Camino does go through there. I should mention, and I haven't mentioned in other videos, so that there's different routes for the Camino de Santiago. There's another one that goes kind of along the Basque coast. So Lapurdi, Gipuzkoa, Vizcaya goes through Donostia, San Sebastian, Bilbao. And so there's several routes of the Camino within the Basque Country, but the one in Nafarroa is the one that I've done. So I'll just mention that right here at the end. If you have any questions or you want to debate, I mean, Spain versus Basque Country in terms of Navarra in the comments, like, go ahead. I'll be honest with you, I probably won't be super active in that because, I mean, it's, dare I say, it's American apathy. Like, it's not my struggle. I'm not super interested. I'm interested in reading the conversation, but, like, I don't have very strong opinions either way because I'm not from there, and the politics of this province doesn't really directly affect me, which maybe is the most millennial thing I've ever said on this channel. But yeah, feel free, talk about it in the comments. Tell me more about the Kingdom of Navarre because I feel like that's a subject that I could spend months of my life researching. Like, there's so much history there and it's really interesting. So go ahead, let's talk. This is the last video in the series on Basque provinces. So if you haven't gone back and seen the other ones, I've linked in the description below the different videos on the different Basque provinces. You can also, if you have not already, subscribe to the Hello Basque YouTube channel. I'm publishing new videos every Thursday all about the Basque Country, and I would love to have you along for the ride. And if subscribing to YouTube isn't your thing, but you're on social media, you can also follow me and Hello Basque on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Hello Basque. So either way, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you checking out the channel, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye. I'm gonna let the cat out because, hold on. Bibi, you have to go. Don't be biting my ankles. Thank you. Go have dinner. Okay.